Hi guys, welcome to On the Whistle, and today we're doing a special on Malawi football. We're finding out about what led to this nation's success and their qualification for the African Cup of Nations, only the third time in their history. We're going to speak to a member of the Malawi leadership who's going to give us some insight into what the team is doing so well. You're going to love what Gome Zakazaka says. He is the Director of Competitions and Communications at the Malawi FA. And we find the man who is Malawi's hitman. That's right, we speak to Richard Mbulu, the man who scored that all-important goal to qualify Malawi for the AFCON in that game against the Uganda Cranes. But first up, you're going to hear from Gome Zakazaka about what Malawi has done behind the scenes to lead to their success for the AFCON qualification. Take a listen to the interview I did. Joining me now on the podcast is Malawi's Competitions and Communications Director, Gome Zakazaka. Gome, welcome to the pod. For those who don't know much about Malawi football, what would you pinpoint as the key to your success during the AFCON qualifiers?
Yeah, I would say that one of the key elements that enabled us to come out tops in these qualifiers was continuity, because we have used a group of players that have stayed together for quite some time. As you are aware that 2 to 3 years ago, we had a coach, Ron van Inken from Belgium, who was on a 2-year contract from 2017. So when he came in 2017, he more like reshuffled the national team, brought in a number of youngsters. Most of them by then were not playing even elite league football. Now they were playing for junior teams in lower leagues, but he trusted in them because he had seen the potential. So it was like phasing out the group that was there that he found and building a new team. And what happened was when he left, that was in 2019, the coach that took over was the one that he was working with when he came. He was coaching the under-23s, where Ronnie was also getting most of his players from the under-20, under-23s, bringing them into the main picture. That's for the A-League, for the senior national team. So that group was not disbanded by the new coach, Meki Masai. He continued where RVG stopped. So basically, it's a group of players who have played together for quite so long. So there was that understanding, there was that coordination. So it was easier for Meki Masai to get results with this group. So that was key in as far as our performance is concerned. But again, I think one of the key issues was to ensure that we collect all maximum points at home. Unfortunately, we managed to draw one game against Burkina Faso.
You guys were unstoppable at home. What was the key to that? I mean, you go into your last 2 qualifiers not having lost a game at home, and then you deliver against South Sudan and, of course, Uganda.
Yeah, sure. I think our stadium has been really our best place to execute matches. And if you look at the past 10 to 12 years, I think we have only lost 2 AFCON matches there. I remember we lost to Burkina Faso in 2009 during the 2010 Joint World Cup qualifiers. And again, the other game that we lost was in 2015 when we lost, rather should be 2016, when we lost to Guinea. And then in Zimbabwe in 2017 AFCON qualifiers. But apart from that, we have really done well at the stadium. We have beaten big teams. Egypt, they came here when they were 3-time consecutive champions, and that was their first defeat in many years. The Drogbas have come here and they have only managed to get a point. So when we are playing at Kamuzu Stadium, I think it's really the place that we make it home and we make it count. Again, I think it's even the artificial turf. I think our boys really are used to it and they have mastered on how to play on that surface. I think it's one of the reasons that give us an edge playing at home. But that sense of
tell me about the surface. What is it about the surface that makes it so hard to play on? Don't give away your secrets to oppositions, but you can tell me.
Yeah, I think what we have noticed is the people when they come and play on ASFO turf, a lot of teams struggles. But we have really mastered well the surface, and we are just unplayable at Kamuzu Stadium.
What is the trick to playing on AstroTurf? Like, what is it that makes it so tricky?
Yeah, basically it's because we play most of our local matches in AstroTurf. Maybe in most countries they don't do that, but to our boys they use, and it's really like to them that's the base surface that they enjoy playing on. So really comes stadium. It's really no goes on, and that mentality, apart from the stadium itself, but the mentality that has been installed in the players to make sure that when they're at home, they should make it count. Because traveling in Africa is difficult. You are not guaranteed. There are no minors in Africa. If you travel, you are already at a disadvantage. If you look at the conditions of travel, the different conditions in terms of weather and situations, the facilities in Africa, it makes it difficult to playing around in Africa. So you must make sure that the 9 points at home, whenever you're starting each campaign, those are must get. We were lucky, we got 7, and we traveled and managed to get a win in South Sudan. And by the way, the first win, the win against South Sudan in Khartoum was our first away win in an Africa Cup of Nations qualifier since we beat Djibouti in 2009. So that should give you a picture of how we have struggled to get points on the road, and how that win really boosted our chances to ensure that we finish it off against Uganda in Blantyre.
Well, I have to ask you this. You got rid of your coach, who was an international coach. You went for a local coach. Do you think that made the difference in helping the team unify and gain success? Do you think going local sometimes wields better results?
I would say so, if we go by statistics, because as you put it at the beginning, that this is our third qualification, 84, 2010, and now 2021. If you look at all these 3 campaigns, it was local coaches that were in charge of the qualifications. We had Henry Moyo in 1984, a local coach, and in 2010 we had Kina Piri, and now we have Meke Mwase, all former Flames captains and now local coaches taking us to the continental finals, whereby a number of foreign expatriates that we have been engaging all along failed to take us to the finals. So from that perspective, you argue and say, okay, maybe there's a charm in local coaches, but for this campaign, I would say that LVG really laid the foundation of the qualification of building a strong team. So I would say it was, he played a part. He played a part much as he was not here, but he played a part because he mentored these local coaches, and he's the one who called into cup most of these boys that were a part of this qualification.
Come at the man, come at the hour. And Richard Mbulu scored that crucial goal against the Uganda Cranes to get the team qualified for the AFCON. How popular is he in the country right now?
Muhango, who is our top player, and Gabarinho Muhango was suspended for the last match against Uganda. You know, the match that we were looking forward that, okay, this is the time that he will come up once again and be our match winner. And Mbulu now was trusted with that responsibility to lead the front line, and he delivered. He delivered, I should say so, when most did not expect. If you look at Mbulu, he's one kind of striker who does not score more goals, but his work rate in terms of creating chances, creating space for other players to shine is just unbelievable. This is why even Coach RVG, before he left, he used to play him a lot. Even Meke Mwase used to play him a lot, despite that goals were not coming. And fans become frustrated. A lot of people were still questioning, why is Mbulu still being used when he's not scoring goals? Because ever since he made his debut back in 2017, I think he has just scored 4 goals. Prior to the Uganda game, he had scored 3. He scored against Togo when we played in a friendly match in Morocco in 2017. Then at the 2019 COSAFA Cup, he scored 2 goals. I remember against Comoros and against Seychelles. But he had not delivered at a big stage. At a big stage, in this case, in an AFCON qualifier or in a World Cup qualifier. And frustrations among the fans were, why is Mbulu still being played? and then he delivered when it mattered most. And now he's the talk of the town. Now he's the hero. But it's something that people have to understand from that perspective, that he may not score a lot of goals. He may not be that flashy player that we expect, but his work rate, I mean, his contribution to the team in terms of creating space, creating chances for others is just unbelievable. And that's why even at club level, at Baroque FC, like last season, for Baroque FC in the South African Premier Soccer League, he played 25 games. He did not score a goal as a striker, but his coaches were still believing him because they saw something that maybe people will not see beyond him scoring the goals.
Gome, when you look at the Malawi squad, are you relying mainly on locally based players, or are you bringing players from abroad, based in the Premier Soccer League, based in other African leagues, and of course Europe?
Yeah, I would say that for this campaign, like for the better part of the campaign, yeah, for the first 4 games against South Sudan home, Uganda away, Burkina Faso home and away, it was a squad that was dominated by local based players. If you look on average, we were calling almost 7 foreign based players, and in the starting 11, on average, 6 players were local based players. But now, with the COVID-19 pandemic, our league has been on and off due to the national restrictions. And going into these matches, I think the philosophy was the same, that we use a lot of local-based players. But then we played a friendly match against Ethiopia on our way to Sudan. We lost miserably by 4 goals to 0. And this was mainly because of lack of match fitness for the local-based players. And this is the time that the coach now decided to switch and focus on foreign-based players. And it was the first time that we brought 12 foreign-based players. I must admit that we don't have big-name players that are playing for top teams across the world. I think our top player, like I indicated, who is a known player, is Gabadinho Mhango, playing for Orlando Pirates in South Africa. He was the top goal scorer in the PSL last season. I think that's the highlight of our players. We also have got other players in the PSL playing for middle of the table teams. I talk about Baroque FC. We have got 2 players there, Mbulu and Gerard Pitt Jr. We have got Limbikani Nzava playing for Amazulu. We also have got 2 others that are playing in the National First Division. That's the lower league in South Africa. And these are our top players. We have got 2 players playing in the Mozambican League. And we have got 3 players playing in Europe. But if you look at the leagues that they are playing for, 1 is playing in Georgia, and 2 are playing for FC Sheriff in Moldova, which is ranked lower than even Malawi itself, while the rest of the players are coming from Malawi. So if you can see that the qualification has been achieved by a crop of these players playing at that level, you'd see that, okay, it's not big name players, but a group of young people who are really determined, skillful, and ambitious to do well. And I believe that they deserve it, and maybe the AFCON platform may just give them that needed exposure for them maybe to clinch big club deals.
This will be Malawi's 3rd time at the AFCON. 2 previous occasions, the team didn't make it out the first round. Team are obviously not playing on their famed AstroTurf that you have in Malawi. What gives you optimism that things will be different this time around in Cameroon?
Yeah, I would say that yes, we haven't gone past the group stages in the past 2 editions. The first edition, I think it was just unfortunate. We started on a higher note, beating Algeria 3-0, which I would say was one of the best results of the tournament, most shocking result. But then went on to lose to Angola, then lost again to Mali, and bowed out. So this time around, our target is to go past the group stages and qualify for the knockout stages. Basically, it will take a lot of determination from the guys. We really need to prepare well, study the opponents that we're going to be given when the draw is done sometime in June. But again, ensure that there is proper preparations. I think for these qualifiers, or I should say from 4 to 5 years ago, we have done a good job in as far as exposing our team is concerned. We have made sure that during each and every international FIFA window, we play a match, a competitive match with top opposition. If you have our players playing at that level now and again, I mean, they master the art of playing international matches. It becomes easier during competitive matches, because in the past we used to skip a lot of international FIFA days due to lack of funding. But now I think government of Malawi is supporting us. The FA is also putting a lot of effort. We now have a bank is supporting us as our official sponsor. So we have got some resources that are enabling us to play these important friendly matches. That, to an extent, is giving the exposure to the players, giving the understanding, the toughness of playing in Africa. So we need more of these, and we need more of top notch friendly matches for us to be in shape for AFCON. But key will also be the crop to maintain form, because there is great understanding among the current players. So if the current players maintain form at club level, so that they are in shape, in top condition when we arrive in January, to ensure that the same team that has played now, that has qualified, if they play together in the World Cup qualifiers. The good thing, we have got World Cup qualifiers coming again. We are in a good group with top opposition: Cameroon, Ivory Coast, Mozambique.
Many would see that as the group of death. I mean, this is one of the most tightly contested groups for the World Cup qualifiers.
Yes, it's a group of death, and if you are going to play against such top opposition like in Cameroon and Ivory Coast, that should be good preps for us for AFCON.
And I tell you what, those teams aren't going to look forward to playing the Flames at home. Gome Zakazaka, thank you for giving us an overview of Malawi football. We certainly wish you well, and we know this won't be the last time we speak to you in the build-up to the AFCON and the World Cup.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you.
All right, folks, you've heard from the man in the suit, the man who organizes things behind the scenes. But now we go to the heart of the story. And you're going to be able to hear Richard Mbulu talk about that amazing goal he scored to get the Flames qualified. And also, you're going to hear some insight into the team spirit, into the AstroTurf that Gome had spoken about earlier, that the team play on and why they're so hard to beat at home. And also, you're going to hear about Malawi, who aren't necessarily the biggest dog in the fight, but they've got the most fight. Take a listen to the interview Courtney, Freese, and I did with Richard Mbulu. Well, the special on the Malawi Flames continues. And I tell you what, we've got a man who is a sergeant in the Malawi army, but he's better known as the Flames hitman. Welcome to On the Whistle, Richard Mbulu. How are you doing, brother?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm doing well. I'm fine.
Richard, Malawi is not a big country. You guys have a population under 1 million, actually. Small country. And you guys don't have a vast pool of players to draw from. Could this be seen as a strength? Was this a positive for you guys?
Yeah, as I've said, Malawi is a small country, but it's not the dog in the fight, but it's the fight in the dog. Like us players, we sat down, we talk, we say, guys, we have been suffering for almost 10 years. So as you see now, we have young players now in our team. Maybe the biggest player can be maybe 27, but most of the players, they are young. So we talk, we said, guys, we must not fear, we must go, we must perform well, so that we sell ourselves, our careers, so that we go and play those big teams.
Yes. Malawi had such a very good qualification record. Didn't lose any games.
Yes.
Do you think it was down to the AstroTurf that you guys played on?
Yeah, I think the game we lost is only against we lost 2 games, Uganda away and Burkina Faso away. But at home we didn't lose any game, because when you are playing home, we have much confidence and the support. So at home we don't lose any game. We fight for our supporters. We fight for Malawi.
But do you think the AstroTurf that you played on played into your advantage? Because not many teams in Africa play on an AstroTurf.
Yeah, it's true, because sometimes we took advantage because of artificial turf, most of the players from other countries, they use grass. So we took advantage in Malawi because we use artificial turf. Most of the players from other countries, they play in Europe, whereby they are using grass. So we took advantage for ourselves, so that most of the players, when they come, they don't perform well because it's too hot. Even in Malawi, it's too hot. So we took advantage for that.
There'll be people like me who are not professional football players like you, Richard, but what is the difference between an AstroTurf and a normal football field? Is it the bounce? Is it the speed of the ball? What is the difference? What is it that teams struggle to deal with?
Yeah, artificial turf is difficult because most of the time it depends, because in Malawi it's hot. So when it's hot and that artificial turf, when don't put water, it's difficult for a player to land on it, because it absorbs it absorbs heat. You see, you feel some heat when you don't put water. You feel some heat, so it's difficult for most of the players who are playing in Europe, because in Europe it's cold and there is hot, and artificial is a lava, so most of the time they feel too much hot.
Wow, something I never actually would have associated with the turf, Courtney.
Well, the problem with the artificial pitch is, firstly, the advantage. The advantage
Yeah.
is that the ball rolls very true. There's no
Mm.
problem with the rolling of the ball. Okay. So that's the one thing, because a lot of African pitches are very bumpy, also very hard, which makes controlling the ball difficult. But
Yeah.
the disadvantage about an artificial pitch is that the friction, if it's not wet, like Richard has said, the ball rolls
Yeah.
slower and can get, if passed to someone, can get held up a bit more. The other difficulties with it is that those pitches are just maybe sometimes a bit more bouncy than normal, which makes controlling
Yes.
the ball a bit more difficult. Now, teams that don't train on that, that would be a disadvantage to them. And teams that train on it, like Richard's team, like Malawi, have the advantage.
Sure, that makes a lot of sense. I
Small
was gonna,
percentages.
sorry, say again, Courtney.
Small percentages, but
Small percentages that lead
remember,
to
it's still
success.
the fight in the dog, as Richard said.
Exactly,
But the
exactly.
fight in the dog.
Yeah, I was going to say, Richard, what we love to do at On the Whistle is put the fans in touch with the people on the field. And we have a question from a Malawi Flame supporter that I'm going to play for you. So I'd like you to listen and then look to answer.
Hey Zayn, this is Muti coming to you from Malawi. Just a quick question to farm people. What are we going to do differently this time around, to avoid 2010? 2020, we are very excited. It was a very good start, beating Algeria 3-0. We were all excited. But then the things sort of went south from there. What are we going to do differently this time around? How do we ensure that we go far in the competition? Also considering the fact that we are in a group with very, very strong contenders as well. Thanks.
Yeah, I think this time will be very much different, because as I said, it's not the dog in the fight, but the fight in the dog. So we are not going there like underdogs. We are going there. We are not going there like we are a small team. We just want to go there and participate. No, we are going there to perform and to win games. As I've said, now football has changed. You can even see the football even from Europe, even Africa. Most of those they call big team, they are losing with small teams. So now football has changed. We are going there. We are going to fight until the end of the games.
Now, as you know, as we said about this before, Malawi is not a big country. Malawi is not a big team, but you're a very strong fighting team. The World Cup is coming up in Qatar soon. You guys have a difficult group. You have Ivory Coast, Cameroon, Mozambique in your group. How do the players feel coming up against these teams? Have you all been talking about them? Is there a discussion? What's been going on?
Yeah, I think it's not too much tough because we played against Cameroon. It was last year or last of last year. We played against them where we in Cameroon. They beat us 1-0. They came home, we draw. So I think it will not be a tough matches. But even us, we are still working on that. We are going to work hard. We are going to throw everything so that we'll make sure that we can have chance to qualify for World Cup. What we're expecting from our team this year is that we want to make victory and we want to make wonder so that people they must know that there is Malawi. We don't want that old Malawi whereby we just losing the games. We just participate the tournament just for the sake of participation. But now we want to perform well. We want to go far. We want to do well. So that we want to sell ourselves. As I said, we have young talented players. So I think it is going to be tough for them, not for us, because us we want to work hard so that we make wonders, we make victories, and we want to ourselves to make history so that Malawi qualified for World Cup.
You know, Richard, and I'm sorry to jump in here, Zayn, but I love the way you're talking because you're talking so much from a team dynamic. But you don't get a name like a hitman if you don't have your own ambitions. What do you want for yourself? Do you feel you are ready to move on to a bigger team with respect to Baraka that you're playing for? Do you feel you're ready to take the next step? Maybe going to
Yeah,
Europe or a bigger team?
yeah, I think that's my wish for me to jump to a big teams. My dream is to play in Europe. I'm not dreaming about here in South Africa, but I'm dreaming about to play in Europe because in life you need to success, you need to move on, you need to make life change. So my dream now is to play in big team, and I wish to play in Europe.
And we certainly hope you get that move to Europe, whether it's in the short term or whether it's after a successful AFCON. We hope that you get that move. But Richard, earlier in the show, you heard a question from Muti, and we have two more African football fans that have questions. I have a question here from Nicola, and Nicola asks, let me play you Nicola's question.
South Africa has the richest league in Africa, and how is it that they failed to qualify and Malawi did?
Yeah, I think I can say the is the management. Is the management. Is where is how. It's not how you started, but it's how you finish. Of course, they have money. It's not about money. Football is not about money, but it's about the heart. It's about the heart. You can have money, you can have everything, but if you go inside the pitch, you are not fighting. So meaning everything is nothing. But you need to go with heart. You need to fight. So you need to go and fight and know what you want to happen. What you want to happen. Because as a Malawi national team, we do there's no money in Malawi. Our currency is small, but the heart was having in those games, that's the one they make us to qualify for AFCON.
Thank you for that answer, Richard. I think that speaks to passion, it speaks to team motivation and dynamics. And I have one more question. I have a question from Joseph, who's actually a fan of Zimbabwe. And he says, at the AFCON next year, who do you think will go further, Zimbabwe or Malawi?
I think that question is tough for me to answer. But I wish if they can put us in the same group, because I have a Zimbabwean player here, goalkeeper Chipezeze. He's talking too much. So I wish if they can put us in the same group so that we'll see who is bigger than the other.
And we hope you get that meeting at the AFCON. Now, Richard, before we go, we've just got a few more questions. And after you scored that goal against Uganda and the team qualified, the pictures coming out of Malawi were amazing. Fans mobbing the bus, students at the university. What does football mean to the average Malawian?
Yeah, people from Malawi, they like football too much. They like football. They like our national team. So there's a time whereby our national team was not doing well. Each and every game was been losing. I've been losing. I've been not doing well. So I think that game, after we won that game, we qualified. The whole Malawi was happy, was celebrating that we qualified for AFCON. It's history, and we put the Malawi on the map, and we make everyone happy. People was fighting about a long time in the past. People was fighting about elections. So now we put them together. They was celebrating each other, making friends. So I think people of Malawi, they were happy because we stayed almost 10 years without qualifying to AFCON. So that's why you saw people, they was celebrating, they was beating the bus, they was running inside on the street. So yeah, I can say everyone was happy.
And Richard, we all remember iconic goals. For Courtney and I, we remember when Chippa Masinga scored to get Bafana to their first World Cup in 1998. An amazing thunderbolt he hit at Soccer City. I'm sure your goal will reverberate for a long time with Malawi and Malawian fans. For you, is that the greatest goal you've scored or the most memorable goal you've scored in your career?
Yeah, I think that one was my great goal, my memorable goal, whereby I will never forget in my life that goal because it's history. I made history. I make my history. I make history for Malawi. So that goal, I'll never forget it in my life, and is a great goal I scored in my career. It's the first goal I scored in my career, the great one. So I will remember that goal forever.
Richard, the Sergeant, Hitman Mbulu, thank you for joining on the podcast. It's been amazing hearing your insight on the success of the Flames. We certainly will be following you closely. And maybe Courtney, maybe Richard can get us some tickets for a game in Malawi when they're playing during the World Cup qualifiers. Maybe we can board a flight, get to Lilongwe, then take a drive to Blantyre.
Or during the AFCON, if we can have another podcast meeting with you, Richard, we'd be very happy during the tournament to see how things are going. We'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah, no problem. We'll get it.
No, that's brilliant. We just wish you well. Thank you for making time to be with us. And like I said, you scored a legendary goal that puts Malawi on the map. I'm envious of Malawi with a population of under 1 million going to the AFCON. We have over 52 million and we decided to stay at home.
But you know what? Maybe we can become Flames fans just for the tournament.
Yeah, you might. Now I think we bring a lot of supporters. You must support Malawi in AFCON. So it will be good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Richard Mbulu. It's a pleasure to speak to you.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Please do get in touch with us on social media. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at OTW_podcast or join our Facebook group. That's where we have all this amazing discussion. Just search for On the Whistle Podcast. We'd love to have you join the banter. Join the braai. We're the biggest braai in world football. Come and join us. And of course, if you've come this far, you got to want to leave a rating and a review. We love to read them and we love to take your feedback on. So for now, go and enjoy the week. And if you're a Malawi Flames fan, look forward to that AFCON. Ciao for now.